Yo, what is up, guys? This is JD Rich coming back at you with another One Piece video and discussion. Today, I am giving my review for the early OP scans of One Piece chapter 1162. Let's get straight into it, man. This chapter I gotta admit, this is an amazing chapter. You know, and one thing that I've always lamented on is that we really shouldn't have expectations for any type of chapter, no matter what kind of spoilers we get, full or brief. We shouldn't have any expectations for any chapter, because it's just the ante is just gonna keep getting up. Now, we can have our opinions on whether a chapter was good or not, 10 out of 10, whatever, not 9 out of 10, you know, whatever. But it's all our expectations, whether we have them or not, are always going to be surpassed with everything we're getting into. So this chapter, it starts off back amidst the chaos of God Valley. We got the Roger pirates trying to disembark on their way and leave the island, but they're caught up between, facing off the Rocks pirates and the Marines at the same time while they're trying to evacuate. Then apparently in the northwestern part of the island, you got Garling and Rocks duking it out and squabbling off. And what's crazy is this, man, I'm glad that we actually got that. I'm glad we really got that, because one, considering Garling is the man who is responsible for putting all this together, from finding the clan to organizing the human hunting event, and to ask the Gorosei and for them to ask Emu to have it held at God Valley. Garling is responsible for essentially all this chaos that we are seeing today. And it's so befitting that Rocks is the one who actually took him down. Even though I don't think he took him down permanently. It may look as so as we get later on in the chapter, but we now know that Rocks and Garling are squabbling off. And while that is happening, we're going to go into the chapter as it shows Rayleigh finally taking off with Shaki. Amidst everything going on, you got pirates trying to hunt him down, but you got some Roger members in the back of him actually trying to take down some of the pirates to clear a pathway. And of all people, this was unexpected, as the pirates are, of course, jealous, the fodder and whatnot. They're jealous that Rayleigh got to carry off with Shaki, you know, and saving her and whatnot. You got them trying to attack Rayleigh, and then you got Shiki even lending a hand, like, hey, you idiots, what are you doing? If you attack him, you might end up hurting Shaki. So you got Shiki kicking somebody in the head and maybe attacking other pirates as well, because he doesn't want to see Shaki get hurt. And I gotta admit, Shiki may be a scoundrel, but I gotta admit, this was actually a pretty honorable act for Shiki. And because you see a panel of Whitebeard and other pirates fighting them off as well, trying not to let them damage Shaki because of their jealous grudge. So it's very good that Rayleigh is actually getting the job done. You know, Roger even chimes in and he says, okay, listen, we got the Rocks pirates and the Marines on our tail. Look, Rayleigh, go forth. I'm going to handle this. Just get her out of here and whatnot. And you see Roger and the other pirates still squabbling it out, still fighting and whatnot. This is just chaos. This is essentially chaos. You got pirates everywhere, some who mutinied against Rocks, and some who are still serving under his flag, just fighting about, scrambling for what they can get. It's like everybody's out for themselves at this point. Now that Shaki's gone, you can really see that everybody is really out for themselves, as they should be, right? I mean, this is God Valley. I know what they came here to get. Aside from saving Shaki, which she already is saved, we're here for the treasure and whatever else we can grab. You know, it's one big brawl. What can you expect? So, moving forward, next we get Kuma. And Ivankov actually trying to get their devil fruits, you know. They're actually, in a way, escaping. It's kind of like similar to the flashbacks that we saw earlier of Kuma, Jenny, and Ivankov, you know, getting their way and whatnot. But what's crazy is I don't see Jenny anywhere in this chapter. I forgot where she probably was during the last flashback that we saw of all three of them, but I don't see Jenny anywhere in this chapter. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just missed her. But I personally, I just don't see her anywhere. But I'm pretty sure she's okay. So we got Kuma and Ivankov. They're getting into the devil fruits, trying to get what's theirs and whatnot. But then you got Big Mom coming in and just ruining that whole moment. You got Big Mom coming in and just taking, of course, the Azure Dragon fruit away from Ivankov, and then demanding that Kuma hand over his fruit as well. But we obviously see that Kuma ate his, because like, as Ivankov said, like, even if you could save one person or eat the devil fruit, it'll be our one victory out of this whole ordeal and whatnot. I'm paraphrasing. So, you know, we got an angry Big Mom who took one fruit, but still angry that she couldn't get her hands on the other. You guys know how it is. It's still up in the air for this chapter, man, as far as like the devil fruits like specifications, because the only devil fruits we know of that get an appearance in this chapter are the Azure Dragon and the Pawpaw. We don't know anything about Oda doesn't give us any explanation for any of the other devil fruits that are taking place in this chapter, but I think he's still saving that, so we never know. Now, going forward, Garp, it transitions to Garp after it goes from what's happening on Roger's side of the island to basically Rox's side, I think. And no. Before, I think Garp is on Roger's side, my bad. So as you can see, Garp actually walking through the turmoil of everything going on. Garp is actually shocked looking at all these civilian casualties. Garp is not happy about this. And he's looking like, yo, all this for a human hunting contest? Like all this aftermath and mayhem that took place over a human hunting contest. Then we got Garp actually calling Sengoku like, yo, did you know about this, man? What happened with, what is the deal here? You knew about this all along? And it appears that Sengoku did. From the way it comes off, it seems that Sengoku did. Because he laments at the fact, he comments on, basically, Sengoku makes a remark in response that there was somebody else, maybe not of like Garp's rank or position, but somebody else in the Navy who asked about this specific human hunting contest, and now it appears they disappeared from the Navy. But we all know, I think we can all expect what that disappeared mean. Like, you start questioning certain authorities, especially amongst the world government, they are going to snuff you out. Like, and what? We can't have no whistle blowing from the inside of our operations, from somebody inside our operations who doesn't know that they are being used for the inside of our operation. I know I went on a long run there, but still, the person who Sengoku is referring to, I really hope we get to meet them, because I got a feeling that character may be an essential part to the story and this flashback going forward. Who was it that suddenly disappeared from the Navy when they started asking questions about the real top brass, as referring to the world government, especially in the involvement of this human hunting contest? Now, we can already assume that they're dead, because after all, they disappeared suddenly out of nowhere. So we can take that as Oda saying that, oh, they were killed. They were they were covertly assassinated. Or it could be a case where they just went missing and they were about to be assassinated, found their way to escape whatever death trap that was laid out for them, and then just disappeared all entirely. Like, just decided to go completely incognito as far as the eyes of the government goes. So yeah, man, we got Garp questioning all this. He's actually wondering like, yo, is this a dream? This must be a dream, but it's not. It's reality. Garp is seeing a harsh reality of how sick the government actually is, to the point where he's like just watching innocent people laying on the ground in their own blood and remains and whatnot from a human hunting contest. The abused power of the Celestials is why Garp goes so hard to train up his recruits the way he does. Because after all, calling like who he calls the future of the Marines today, they are the future to bridge a gap of real justice between stuff like this happening. So kudos to Garp still. I still love Garp regardless of this chapter, man. I know it's been crazy, but still, you can't just hold this. You can't put this on Garp. Garp, it seems that Garp didn't even know that this was going on, but Garp is just now finding out. So moving forward after that, I think we cut over to Rox's side of the island, right? Hold on. Yeah, I think we cut over to Rox's side of the island. Now, from what it appears, it seems as though Garling is in heavy pursuit of this man. You know, Garling is actually, Garling, along with some God's Knights, one guy's night, I think the woman that in all black with the brunette hair that we saw, Garling and her are with some Oni demons, some Oni, I won't say Oni, some demon contract coral victims. Yeah. So basically the devil, like Emu's demon transformation that he did on Dorian Bragi, it appears that he actually did this on the remaining Davy members. And we come to find out that two of these members happen to be Rox's grandmother and his own father. Yo, this was so unexpected. Like, it's already enough that we get that they're Davy members, but to know that we were staring at Rox's father and grandmother, because remember, I think 2 chapters ago before this, maybe 3, when we first saw Shaki standing as a prize to be won, that was announced by the Celestial Dragons. When we saw those Davy clan members on stage, we were actually looking at Rox's grandmother and grandmother and father. And to the fact that we get them in this chapter, even though we get them in a demon form, it's kind of crazy though. Like, who would have expected us really seeing a faction of Rox's parents and grandparents, the mother and like the grandmother and father at that, and on top of that, I could assume they had some great memories, probably helping Eris raise Teach. Like, come on, man, there had to be some beautiful family dynamics right there, man. And this is really sad at the same time, because he's literally looking at his people being hunted and tormented, like against their own will, of course, and to be used as demons to hunt him down and kill him, serving under Emu, Garling, and whatever. But looking at Garling though, right here in this panel, we can see that Rox clearly tuned him up greatly. Like, Rox split this man's head open. Rox gave this man a head split, and it appears that his shoulder was split open too. And Garling comments though, because he's regenerating, as we know all the God Knights do. Garling is regenerating, and he's saying that he's talking to this other guy's Knight whose name we know not of. He's talking to her like, yo, he did greater damage than I thought. This wound is going to take a lot longer to heal. The other God Knight comments that, hey, at least they know he's a Davy clan. And besides, killing him, you know what I'm saying? Killing him will be like a big win. And I'm paraphrasing. It'll be like a big win for them, and it'll please the Great One. Too bad the game got cut short, the rabbit hunting contest that they were so excited to participate in to slaughter people. So we got a panel of Rox running with Eris and Teach. You know, he's holding Eris with one arm. Apparently he must have been fighting with Eris and Teach, like while defending with the other arm. Like, think about how goated that is. This man has his wife and kid on his shoulder, but he was still managed and able to actually take down Garling. Now, even though Garling obviously got back up via the regeneration, and he's coming after him, we still got Rox hauling ass, getting across the island, and we got this moment from Eris. We got a moment from Eris where she says, like, yo, let me down, Zebek, because she obviously sees that he needs his full attention on the enemies to take them down. So Eris lets Rox know, like, yo, Zebek, if I wasn't the type of woman who could fend for myself and only cling to you in the times of need, you wouldn't have fell in love with me, didn't you? You wouldn't have fell in love with me at all. And this is, but before this happens, Rox actually lets her know, like, yo, I can't stop running. That's all we can do right now for now. I gotta get you guys out of here. And plus, if you guys get captured, when a Davy clan member gets captured, the pain that they'll feel is actually worse. It's so bad. It's so bad it makes the gates of hell seem like child's play. I'm paraphrasing. So for them to be captured and for them to feel a pain so bad that the gates of hell will feel like child's play to them, what kind of torture will they go through if they end up getting caught? That's how sick the government is. That tells me that they're not just gonna die. They're going to suffer while dying, and it's going to be ensured suffering. Like it's intentional to make them suffer as they die, because it seems like Emu is not pulling any type of punches as he shouldn't. But Emu's grudge for them he's really got it out for him. The fact that Rox would even say that the gates of hell will feel like a child's play compared to the pain they'll feel just getting captured. I can only imagine what they would go through, man. And on top of that, I guess getting captured in a form like that is what Rox is alluding to. Because as we saw from a panel of Rox's father and grandmother, they got demon horns sticking out. They got the demon teeth. They're just turned into demons due to Emu's doing. Now, Eris says she already knows, as a proud Davy clan member, she already knows what that pain would feel like. She's aware of the consequences, and if she happens to get caught, she's gonna kill Teach and kill herself. So she would rather take the life of her own son and herself than to be subjugated to such a punishment and fate as the rest of the Davy clan members being controlled and possessed by Emu. Like, death is better than just letting them take us over, because we'd be killed anyway, but we'd be suffering so much in that form. That's what she's trying to allude to. And what really stuck out to me was this. She claimed herself as a proud Davy clan member. Now, I'm just gonna go on a tangent and say, I don't believe she's a born and bred, like by blood right, Davy clan member. I think that she was accepted into the clan. The same way Luffy and Ace accepted Sabo and gave him a D. This is essentially the same concept in a way. She became a Davy by the acceptance of the clan and through the love she had for Rox and her birthing his child. So, and on top of that, she mentioned that they accepted her and treated her so kind, despite the fact that she was actually a pirate beforehand. So she says that she'll also meet Rox in Lelucia, like come to Lelucia. And that hints at to me that I think Lelucia might be her homeland. She may not have been born and bred in God Valley, and she also may not be a full Davy clan member by blood right and birth. She may have been accepted as a member. Like, she's a member of the Davy clan, she is. But I'm just going on the intangibles behind how she's a member, because I don't think it's by birth. I think she got accepted due to the bond she had with those people, getting to know them and establishing herself amongst them and carrying teaching Zebek's kid as well. So I can imagine the way she goes into a flashback, it shows that the Rox's father and grandmother actually they've taken a great liking to Eris. They've taken quite a shining to her, for them to accept her despite her background into their clan with open arms. And on top of that, you gonna give birth to Zebek's son too? Like, come on, we family now. Of course you're a Davy clan member. You with us now. You're a family. So the same way Luffy and Ace accepted Sabo as a D, we could apply this same concept of acceptance to Eris becoming a Davy member, which is actually pretty cool. I think that's actually dope, because she doesn't have to be. This just shows, man, family is who you choose, not just what you're born into. Family is who you choose. And I love this concept that this is a long-running concept that Oda has always gone with, and it has always been beautiful throughout the story. Because when we see like Luffy and Ace, for example, they accept each other as brothers. They're not even biologically blood related, but they choose each other as family. Family is always don't let nobody tell you different, man. Family, yes, it's a biological situation and paradigm that you're born into, yes. But family can also become who you choose as family. Never forget that. Now, Eris said that she was going to meet Teach at Lelucia. I believe that Lelucia is her homeland. And on top of that, she was a pirate. This woman was like, you got two pirates who fell in love with each other. This takes me to Rayleigh and Shaki. Shaki was a former pirate, a Kuja pirate, former empress, fell in love with Rayleigh, a pirate. And now you got Zebek, and come to find out that Eris was actually a pirate. I want to know I want to know if she was the captain of her own group, or was she just a part of a crew? And if she was a part of a crew and or a captain, what was the name of her pirate group? Whether she was a captain or not, what was the name of the group that she was in that called themselves a pirate crew? And how long did they sail? What were they like on the seas? You know, because I would assume this is obviously before she met Rox. And it did say that this is technically the era of Rox. What was she doing with her crew? And on top of that, you know, what was their notoriety? Like, how infamous was Eris on the seas? And what can she do? Like, what's her battles? What's her combat system like? Is she like, can she use weapons? You know, I don't think she has a devil fruit. That's too easy to speculate on that route. But what kind of crew was she on, and what was her specialty as far as her combat goes, and her position on the crew? I'm very curious as to find that out. So moving forward, man, we got Rox. He finally decides to let them go. As they run away, we got Garland smiling and catching up with him, thinking like, oh, now that your wife and kid is gone, how is he gonna fight now? Man, Rox raises up his sword and lets down a slash. It seems that Rox is going to take on his possessed clan and St. Garland at the same time. So that was actually a very good moment, man. I'm so glad that he actually puts Garland in the dirt twice, as it was seen, because the first time he wounded Garland, cracked his head open bad. The second round, they're going at it, and you never know what to, you know what I'm saying? You don't know what to expect out of this, right? But I'll get to that in a moment. So moving on, we finally see that Big Mom is about to take the Azure Dragon Fruit, and her plan was to actually give it to Katakuri. We get Kaido coming up on her with the sneak attack with his Kanobo, whatever is Kanobo, his weapon. He actually blitzes her. Boom! Basically damn near knocks her head off. Like, he really got her good with this one. Takes the fruit, chomps it down, and finally he has the Azure Dragon ability, man. I ain't gonna lie, I gotta give Kaido props for this, because after all, she did promise she would get you an ability, and on top of that, for her to take such a powerful fruit and try to give it to Katakuri, I mean, come on, man, only Lin, you know what I'm saying? And on top of that, they're pirates at the end of the day, so what do you expect? So as a pirate, when somebody reneges on a deal, you're gonna get what you want anyway, even if you have to come up on them, bop them upside the head, and then take what you want, because that's what you came in for. So Kaido gets his ability, as it would seem, and Big Mom is furious about this. Big Mom is truly furious. She's really mad about it, because she, like, imagine Katakuri as a dragon, and what if, like, Kaido was the one who got the mochi? I think Mochi Kaido would still be a menace, but still, a dragon Katakuri, that would have been something else. I don't think we would have got out of that arc. If Katakuri was a dragon, then the Whole Cake Island arc, that would have been probably the last we've seen of Luffy. Only because it's like everything he learned to defeat Kaido came from the Wano arc and who he had to meet in Wano. If Katakuri was a dragon in Whole Cake Island, then Luffy, I don't care, that Cobra Snake Man Gear Forth, that wasn't gonna do nothing. Like Luffy would have to get, like, actually, the only way Luffy would beat Katakuri if Katakuri ate the Azure Dragon Fruit was for Luffy to probably get Gear 5th right then and there. But Oda did a good job with all that. So going forward, yeah, Big Mom is mad at Kaido. And then after that, you see along the lines, you see more of the mayhem breaking out between the pirates and the Navy, saying we can't let the pirates just run amok. We got to let them, you know what I'm saying? We got to contain this. We have to beat every one of them, capture them if we can at the same time. You got Scopper, man. Scopper and the rest of the crew, they found some treasure, and they're actually plundering and getting good grabs. You got some of the Rocks pirates coming up like, hey, give me that stuff. And you see a panel with Scopper casually blocking the guy with ease, not letting them get up. So the remaining Roger pirates that are squaring off the Rocks crew, they're holding their own. They're holding their own pretty well, because it's just chaos. You got pirates fighting pirates. You got from the mutineers, the people who rebelled against Rocks, to the fodder Rocks members who still stayed loyal. And then you got Roger's group fighting in between both of them. Like, this is all chaos. And I think you can see a panel where Stussy is using her rifle, like, in between the midst of it. Like, Stussy is using her, not rifle, but her pistol. So you jump forward. We got Saturn. Saturn is actually in attendance. Saturn is in attendance. He's looking from afar, as it would seem, and it appears that Emu is actually communicating to him telepathically, like, yo, Saturn, have we killed Rocks yet? Has Rocks perished yet? Have Rocks perished yet? I'm paraphrasing. And Saturn is like, no, we've lost control of everything. Everything seems to be in chaos. But amidst this chaos and mayhem, something new will be born. This was a crazy line to throw out. I think a lot of people shouldn't take this line lightly from what Saturn said. Something new is going to be born from this. Something new is about to be born. Now, you could think maybe a person, obviously, right? Like, that'd be the most face value interpretation of that statement. But I think it refers to like a new era or a new casualty of the world. But I think it may refer to the birth of a certain moment that is going to spark change and spark events going forward from everything that happens on this island. Something new is about to be born. That may refer to like a new era or aftermath events from what this accident and day will cause going forward. So the fact that he says something new is about to be born, man, I think that refers to the actions of everyone on this island and what they decide to do that will progress the story and the times going forward. So yeah, we got a lot to look forward to. And what's crazy is Saturn being the only Gorosei here. I'm just curious, where are the other Gorosei at? I mean, we know that this whole God Valley incident, the game at least, the human hunting game was broadcast in the Holy Land. So it's no wonder that, of course, the Gorosei would be seeing it. Maybe Emu would be seeing it as well. However, why only send Saturn? With everything going on here, why only send Saturn? What are the other 4 Gorosei doing? Like, what are they occupied with that you only needed one? And then on top of that, it's like you're here and you got a Gorosei member himself. So I think that is enough. But I would just think for a person like Emu, I would think that he wants to use as much overwhelming strength and presence of his gophers, his minions or whatever, his top level minions and servants. You would think that Emu would want to use as much overwhelming force as possible, hence putting in maybe all of the Gorosei. If not all, then maybe 3 or at least 2, but just 1. I guess Saturn is enough considering the fact that Emu is also possessing him as well, as we later get inside the chapter. So it's amazing, with this moment, because we also see Kuma, as Saturn is talking about this, we see Kuma actually using his fruit to heal people. He's healing whatever civilians that he can and to help them escape. Some of these people were saying that they've given up on life already. And you could understand that, man, like given that they were about to get slaughtered for fun and contest by celestial and noble punks who think that they have the right to do so. And it stems also because God Valley, as it gets mentioned later on, God Valley is not a sanctioned country under the flag of the government. God Valley is a non-affiliated country. And the best part about non-affiliated countries is that you can thrive on your own independence as a people and as a collective kingdom and country. However, the downfall of that is the manipulation and the strong arming from the government to either get you to submit to their will or join up with them. Either way, they're playing dirty. Either way, if you stay disaffiliated with the world government, they'll find ways to make you pay for it. And Emu is going to make sure that gets carried out through the orders that he sends to the Gorosei, that passes down through the God's Knights to what we're witnessing now. So yeah, man, non-affiliated countries, the best thing about non-affiliated countries with the government is that you are independent. However, that independence comes at the cost of you having to deal with the backstabbing tactics of the government, trying to enslave your people, human hunt your people, or make your country suffer in general, all because you refuse to bend the knee to the flag of the system. Man, I love this chapter. This chapter is actually a banger so far, man. This chapter is rather amazing. And also, when we get a panel of Saturn talking, we actually see a silhouette of Kaido finally using his fruit. Kaido is actually flying through the sky at this point, testing out his powers. And it appears that Kaido is just geeked up. Kaido was just so excited, right? Kaido is just like, man, it's crazy. Kaido is like just going all over the place. And as we continue down this chapter and Emu finally arrives, we see that some of the fodder soldiers are questioning Saturn, like, yo, Saint Saturn, what's going on with you? He looks like a monster. What is that? What's going on? So we get a panel of, like, clearly, I think Emu showing up, and I think this is before we see that Emu takes over Saturn, because you see Saturn's body, but you see Emu on top of it possessing Saturn. But before that, we see Black Lightning, it appears as Conqueror's Haki as well. So that's the signal that Emu is showing up through his Conqueror's Haki usage and whatnot. And Roger and Garp also notice this. Even Zebek takes a turn and notices, because they all can feel it. Roger points it out like, yo, because some of Roger's pirates, some of his men count out like, yo, I think that's the Rock's pirates doing that. And Kaido's like, Roger's like, no, I don't think that's the Rocks. That don't feel like the Rocks at all. This is something completely different. So as they feel all of that, and you got Garp questioning the ideals of the system that he serves, while also questioning the reality of what they're in right now and what's going on this island, because it just doesn't seem real. It's like a bad dream come to light, but it's reality. It's a reality that a Garp is in, and he has to come to terms with and face. So moving forward, as we get to see, we see Garling actually stretched out on the ground. Garling looks worse than when we first saw him with his head split open. Rox put him down, and Rox also had to kill the rest of his family members because, one, it wasn't that he enjoyed killing them either. He had to, because killing them was better off than seeing them in that form, because in a way their soul is suffering, their will is suffering, because they are subjugated to a demonic form due to Emu's doing. So in a way, it's essentially Rock showing them mercy by killing them, because what? Would you rather be stuck a demon? Would you rather be really stuck in that dark transformation? Who knows how the pain that they actually feel being in that transformation versus actually being dead. So it was better off for Rocks to actually show them mercy by killing them, but also whooping the ass of Garling as well. And you know what's crazy to me? We see Garling on the ground, right? I don't think we see the other God's Knight. Remember, there was another God's Knight with him, a woman. What happened to her? Like, did Rock? Because we could assume that Rock's probably damaged her too, because she was riding side by side. She was riding with Garling on a separate horse. They were charging after Rock's together. So did Rock's do any damage to her as well, or was that off screen? Which more than likely it was. Because I'm just saying, though, like, you show him messing up, you don't show him completely messing up Garling, but you show the aftermath results of them trying to mess with Rocks, which resulted in them getting whooped. Now, as we go forward, Rocks is gathering, he's mobilizing. You see Roger and Garp, they're in questioning about the reality because Emu has finally shown up, and you get a panel where Rox is actually about to charge in. Rox is essentially getting ready to fight Emu, but then you see a panel of Whitebeard next to him, and then you see Kaido floating above. Now, Rox notices how excited Kaido is. Like, I haven't seen you this excited in a while. Like, oh, you finally got a fruit. And Kaido is just showing off, like, look at me, guys. I'm a dragon now. Look at me. I finally got a power. Yeah, that's right. You see it. Hey, I'm flexing on you. I'm like, it's me, baby. It's Kaido. New dragon, new scales, new form. Who this? And Whitebeard is wondering, like, yo, hold up. I'm glad you're happy and whatnot, but what is it? Like, Whitebeard wants to know, what is the form? And you know what's crazy? I don't even think Kaido knows what it is, unless he overheard Big Mom talking, because he probably Kaido probably heard Big Mom saying it as she was holding up the type of fruit it was, and she was like all happy and excited before he came up and doosh, knocked her out with his kanabo or whatever. So he may know what the fruit is, but also I think Kaido is still eager to test out the abilities, given that him, Rox, and Whitebeard are all standing together. And Rox told Whitebeard, like, you don't gain nothing from this, right? There's nothing to gain from this. You know that, right? And Whitebeard is actually happily, he doesn't care. Whitebeard is happy to stand beside Rox and fight with him, because after all, this is a way of Whitebeard paying him back, because he's been drinking on his tab this entire time. And I think that's kind of amazing. Like Whitebeard never paid for his own drinks at Shaki's bar. Just put everything on Rox's tab. And why not? Why wouldn't you? After all, like Rox can afford it with everything they're about to come up on God Valley. Why not? Why man, I'd put my drinks on it. I don't even drink, but if I was to drink as a pirate, oh yeah, put this on Rox's tab. Put this on Rox's tab. I'd be doing that. Put this on Big Mom's tab. Put this on. I'd be putting it. After all, man, like what kind of crew are we? It's not like we really got each other's backs like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'd be drinking off of everybody else too. We're the Rox Pirates. What do you expect me to do? Pay for my own liquor? Out of here, man. Stop. But yeah, I really love that moment, man. Because you got Kaido, Whitebeard, and Rox all standing together facing Emu. And what's crazy is you see Roger and Garp's reaction. Roger is excited. Like he's admitting that, like, yo, there's more that he doesn't know that he wants to know, but also he's excited by the adventure of how this is all playing out. So it appears that Roger is going to stick behind for the sole purpose of finding out what's going down with Emu and Rox and his you know what I'm saying, two members. Roger wants to know what's going down. Roger wants to be involved in the smoke, and so does Garp. So by the time we get the next chapter, because there's a break next week, we may see Roger, Garp, Zebek, Kaido, and Whitebeard all team up somehow to confront Emu. And the fact that Emu is actually involved in Saturn's body, this is going to be something else to see. This is going to be like, I don't know how they plan on fighting this guy. Clearly, clearly they're going to have to use their Conqueror's Haki, but it's clear that they have to use their Conqueror's Haki a certain way, at a certain tier and level, in order to be able to at least try to damage Emu. Because I don't see, for some reason, the only person I can see damaging Emu right here in this chapter is Rox so far. Maybe Roger and Garp. But the only person I see like full out able to possibly damage Emu is Rox initially, firsthand. Yeah, like that's how I interpret it at the same time. Because one thing that's got to be shown is how are they gonna fight this off? Because they're regular. We can all know that regular attacks are not going to work on Emu. They may work as in the sense of, yeah, you'll physically damage him, but he's just gonna regenerate back faster. I mean, after all, with Emu controlling Saturn's body, say if you take off Saturn's legs, take off 3 of Saturn's legs. Emu, since Emu is in direct control, I bet those things will regenerate right back in no time. But Rox may be the key to how they take them down. Rox may have to explain how to use a different tier level of Conqueror's Haki in order to take them down, because Whitebeard has it, Kaido has it, but as far as their skill, control, and mastery of it, we clearly know that Zebek has the edge over both of them. So they have to at least meet Zebek a fourth, fifth, a third of that way in order, you know what I'm saying, to bridge the gap to try to somewhat damage Emu. This has been one crazy chapter, man. This has been one crazy chapter. I gotta give this one like a 9 out of 10. Because we got some good information. I didn't expect us to get Rox's grandmother and father. You know, I did not expect to get that at all. But also a beautiful brief flashback of when Eris was talking about being a part of the Davy clan. So we clearly see a happy version of Rox's grandmother and father. And what's crazy is this, though. I bet they had such good interactions with Teach as a kid. Like I bet they really had good interactions with their grandchild, man. Like that's got to be something else. Like Rox's grandmother and his father, I know they held Blackbeard at certain points, because as long as they've been on the island before all this happened, I know for a fact that they've interacted with each other to be, and especially for them to accept Eris the way they did, they considered that girl family. And she wasn't just family, she was a part of the Davy clan. So as I said earlier, I don't believe that she's a birthright, blood right Davy clan member, but she is a Davy clan member by the acceptance of the people who claimed her as such. So this was a beautiful chapter, like a very, very beautiful chapter. And to see Garland get his justice, that was very satisfying. Even after getting his ass whooped, you still see Garland on the ground smiling, snickering. But I guess that's because Garland must know that the Great One is on his way or there on the island. So I still think that Garland comes back. I think that Garland will regenerate. And even though we heard Garland say it's going to take a while longer due to the type of attacks that Zephyr was using, that might get expedited by Emu's presence. I think Emu is going to sense where Garland is. Rise, my knight of God. You are restored. Emu might actually restore. If any other God's knights are hurt in this chapter, Emu is going to restore them and bring them forward to the battlefield, and they're going to just get it on right then and there. So that's all I got for right now, man. I will talk more about it as the full chapter fully comes out. I got this from the OP Scans website. So the OP Scans, they may not be fully translated, but once the full chapter does get out, I got to read it again and I'll come back with some aftermath thoughts. But this has been an amazing chapter, you guys. I'm glad. I hope you enjoyed it out there. Very good so far, everything we got. I love it. I love the part where Scopper and the crew gets the treasure and whatnot. They're going all out. Everybody's just going all out amidst the chaos for what they want. And we're about to see Kaido, Rox, and Whitebeard all square off against Emu. That, like, I don't even care about us getting a break. I really don't, because I know that Oda's gonna do something so special with that. And also, a brief moment, when Eris is actually running away, we see a panel of Dragon running away with Shanks. It's two parallels. Dragon is not going to let Shanks die, and Eris won't let Teach die. The commitment to not letting these children die on this island, man, it's beautiful. You got a 2-year-old Teach on one panel, you got a 1-year-old Shanks on the other, and these two individuals, Eris and Dragon, are trying to get them to safety. And it appears that they may escape, obviously, right? But as far as Eris goes, we don't know what happened to her. We know that Dragon is still alive here in the present day, but we don't know what happened to Eris. So now that Emu is here, we can see, man, now that Emu is here, will Emu track down Rox's wife? Will she get off this island? And on top of that, she's going to Lelucia. Her destination is to head to Lelucia, the country that also got destroyed that we saw in the recent chapters. And I'm gonna still put this on the table. I believe Lelucia is the homeland of Eris. I believe that Lelucia is her homeland. But also, I want to know what type of pirate she was. I got to know if she was a captain or if she was just a member of a crew. And if she was a member of a crew, what was the name? If she was a captain, what was the name? And what was her fighting style like? Did she use a sword? Did she use a rifle? What was Eris's combat system? Because she seems like another pirate version of Shaki, in a way. A more rugged version of Shaki as a pirate. So yeah, this has been a phenomenal chapter. I give it a 9.5 out of 10. 9.5 out of 10. If you can, let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you want to comment, like, share, subscribe, whatever you feel at your own will, baby. No pressure, no pressure. I hope you enjoyed the chapter just as much as I would have. And when the chapter is fully released, because I got this from the OP scan, when the chapter is fully released and fully coming out, I'm gonna read it again for maybe to look at different translations of what was said and what went down. So I might actually see if things are said the way they were in the OP scans, which they more than likely it's going to be like a 50-50, like half of this is accurate, but different things may have been translated differently, you know, because these translations, they can toss us up in a way. But that's all I got for you now, man. I am JD Rich signing out for you. And remember, guys, this has been One Piece Chapter 1162 review. A piece of life is life in one piece. Peace.